Okay, boys and girls, now we are going to be adding color to our poppies. When we begin, we are going to be skipping this middle section here. That is because the middle section is going to be black, and we're going to do the black last because it is so sticky, it likes to spread everywhere. We don't want to ruin the rest of our poppy, so we'll save it for the very end. Today, we are going to be working with 3 colors: red, orange, and yellow. We are going to be using them in that order, but reversed. So if you look over at the splots on the wall, there's red, orange, yellow, but you can read them yellow, orange, red. There's tons of places in this room where you can see the order yellow, orange, red, and that is what we're going to do. So if you have trouble, just look around the room and find the order that they need to be in. So you're going to take this, and remember, we're skipping the middle, and we're going right on the edge of that line we created. And we need at least 1 finger's length of this color, yellow, all the way around and if you look, I'm not scribbling, I am coloring quickly. And the difference between scribbling and coloring quickly is that you watch where you're going, you make sure that it's neat. I didn't just scribble all over. And I made sure that the color was thick. Now, we're gonna do orange, and we're doing the same thing. We're gonna put the orange right next to the yellow, making sure there's no white in between, and we need at least 1 finger's length. So you can measure with the tip of your finger. And that 1 finger's length goes all the way around. And again, I am coloring quickly. I am not scribbling. And if I look at your paper and I see that you're scribbling, I'm going to tell you that you need to go back and add some more color or redo it. Remember, we do not scribble in the art room. Now, last, we are using red. And the red is going to go right from the edge of the orange all the way to the edge where we drew that blob line. Now, this is what it should look like if you're fast coloring. This is what it looks like if you scribble. Can you see the difference in how much color is laid down? The project won't work if this is what we're doing. We need the thick color, okay? Okay, now that that section is all filled up, we don't need any oil pastels. The only art tool we need is 1 finger. You're going to take your finger, and we are doing little movements, not big movements. And right in between where the yellow and the orange touch, you're just going to scrub up and down with your finger, and you will see that it'll start to blend. And if you have big chunks, you might just want to use a fingernail and get them out of the way because they'll put streaks into your color. And all we want to do is kind of massage the color up and down so it starts to blend. And you're going to do this all the way around. And look, I'm only using 1 finger, and I'm being very careful to stay just between the yellow and the orange line. Now, you're going to do the same thing, same finger, between the orange and the red. And the red, you can see that I still have some white spots in it, and if you use your finger, you should be able to cover them up. But we're going to be very careful to stay inside this line because we don't want the red to go into the next one. So just use your finger and massage all that color into each other, blending it, and go all the way around. Sometimes you might need to get some more color on there if there's big sections that don't have a lot of color. Just go back in, put some more color down. It's easier to spread if there's more color, and that's why we don't scribble. Okay, now that I have that whole thing blended, I'm going to start over again with my what colors first? Yellow. And we're just gonna go right on that line where we stopped with the other red. And again, we're doing 1 finger length of this color all the way around. And don't worry if you accidentally got out of the lines a little bit. It's all right, no big deal. Remember, lots of color. Laying down lots of color. Okay, my yellow's done. What's the next color? Orange. Remember, 1 finger length, right up against that yellow. And if it runs off the page, don't draw on my table. If it's an accident, that's all right. But we don't want to have too much cleanup. And if you think that you might run off the page and you don't want to mess up the table, you may walk to the color wheel that's on the wall, the color splats, and take a messy mat. Okay, the orange is done. What's my last color? That's right, it's red. We go right up against that orange and we take it all the way to the edge, trying our very best to stay in that line and not leave any white spots. And remember, if you're going off the page, try not to draw on the table or go get a messy mat. Okay, my red's done. Now we're going to use our finger as our art tool, and this time it's a little trickier. When we blend, we need to make sure we don't blend this last petal's red into this petal's yellow. So you have to be very careful to not go into this section when you blend. So just blend between the orange and the red with little movements. You can make little circles or little up and down movements. But drag the orange into the yellow. Going side to side won't really do anything.